Hello and welcome to a new video here at A Link to the Cast. I am Mark, as you may have already guessed, and this is just a look at an old classic, an old favourite of mine from the days of the PlayStation 1, or as it would have just been known in those days, the PlayStation. This is Destruction Derby 2. So I recently got my hands on a piece of software that was that Liberty City. The Destruction Derby and GTA universes are somehow related or combined. Yeah, I recently got my hands on a piece of software, shall we say, and I am able to get my hands on quite a large number of PlayStation 1 games. And I should preemphasize by saying that I used to own Destruction Derby 2, so as far as I'm concerned, I am all legally cleared to play this. That's probably how it works. Yeah, Destruction Derby 2. I fucking loved this game when I was a young boy. 1996. So this game is 20 years old, which is the first thing. So I booted this up a little bit last night just to kind of get myself reacclimated with it. I'd forgotten, or I didn't realise at the time, because I wasn't really listening to music at the time, that this intro sounds like somewhere between Welcome Home Sanitarium by Metallica and, you know, kind of late 90s new metal, Limp Bizkit, whatever. To anyone who has never played Destruction Derby before, the game is split up into a couple of different options. You have Wrecking Racing, which is where you drive around a track, but the idea, and it's just going to go into a loading screen, I forgot games used to do this kind of thing. Yeah, actually, this will show us for you. Wrecking Racing is where you would, be trying to take out your the other drivers, but still trying to drive to get as kind of high a position as possible. But your car could fall apart and you could blow the bonnet, blow the radiator, and that's it. You was out. You could also lose wheels, so you kind of had to try and take out your opponents, but also try and take care of your own car as well. So a little bit of strategy involved. There was also just a kind of standard stock car racing mode where you just want to get first, but still your car can take damage. And then there was like a battle bowl sort of environment as well. So we're just going to have a quick race to get us started, so you can kind of see what's going on. The music in this game is incredible. It's like, it feels like it's a couple of years ahead of itself, but it's just very kind of grimy and full of metal. I don't know if they got like an in-house team to do it, but it's a good time. So usually what happens in the first couple, or say in the first couple of laps, certainly in the first part of the track, is you're likely to have this happen. Now, the car handles. It handles okay, but if you crash, that there is prone to happening. And turning the car, it has the turn-in circle of a cow on a shopping trolley, which is unfortunate because, there are times where you will be facing the wrong way. Once you're actually kind of driving and going in the direction you need to go, it actually handles okay. It does feel a little bit like, I don't know, like it's got magnets and it's stuck to the track. It's a very, very weird kind of driving style that the game has. It also doesn't like going over ramps too much, because when the car starts to go head first with the bonnet into the ground, the direction the car's going to go afterwards is kind of all up in the air. So this is probably not the best example at the moment because there are no other cars around, but as you can see on the top left, you've got your speed and then you've got the race points. So the idea is you can take out your opponents in a number of different ways, and depending on what you do, you get a different amount of points. I can't remember what the exact score is, but like if you kind of ram them to the side and you kind of spin them a little bit, you get points for that. If you destroy their car, blowing up the radiator, there's points for that. The key thing is obviously you want to try and clip the back of the wheel and spin them, and I think just the more that you spin them, the more points that you get. So I can't remember exactly what the deal is in terms of if you get more points for finishing higher when it comes to the wrecking racing. You know, it's been a while since I played it. But the idea with the Wrecking Racing is you want to get as many points as possible. On the top right as well, you've got still running, so that lets you know how many in the race. There's 20 cars on each race, or oh, what happened there? Okay. And so this is just a friendly mode, but there is like a full-on tournament mode as well. Where's that yellow guy gone? And so races tend to fit into two categories from... Oh, you son of a bitch. From what I was playing last night, you'll either have... Oh, and I've been lapped. You'll either have races where just no one is around you and it feels like a little bit of a waste of time, or you're just in the thick of it from beginning to end. It's a very difficult game as well. The AI is very unforgiving, even from the get-go. There's quite a few different courses, and they vary in difficulty and vary in the amount of laps that they take as well. So you've got some of the longer tracks with only 5 laps. This is pretty much just kind of a circle, so it's 10 laps, so you got a little bit longer. I also like this; it gives you the option. Oh, I finally managed to get into someone. Yeah, it gives you like a few seconds after the game is finished or the race is finished to try and carry out a little bit more wanton mayhem. So there you can view the replay. You can, I think it gives you some options to edit it, and you can save the replay, which is kind of a really cool feature for 1996. So let's... So there's how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 7 tracks. How good is that music? So I'll show you a little bit of Chalk Canyon. Yeah, there's not really much in terms of the options there. Okay, so Chalk Canyon has a couple of ramps, and I just, as soon as I was playing this again last night, it took me back to being, I don't know, about 9 years old, and just like, oh my god, this game's incredible. That was my analytical review of this game. It is incredible. It holds up okay, actually, it has to be said. I like this little bottleneck section here, just that gets absolutely just crazy. The game holds up relatively well, graphically. Like, the images are pretty kind of clean looking, actually. I mean, the PlayStation 1 is kind of guilty for a lot of stretched and blurred out images. This game doesn't do too bad for that. It has got a lot of kind of graphical pop-ups. You know, there are bits of geometry that just kind of clip. That might just be the emulator I'm playing on more so than the actual game itself. But the whole kind of presentation overall, it still holds up okay. I can't remember where the series went after this. I feel like there was one on the PlayStation 2. I don't think the developers are around anymore. I'm not exactly Jeff Gerstmann when it comes to my historical knowledge of a lot of games. But I'm surprised that... Well, maybe I'm not so surprised that the series didn't stick around too long, because the kind of core concept is kind of limited. Like, I don't think you could do a full 60, 70 euro release of this today. Look at me talk. Oh, look at that. Bang. Oh, it's got to be some points, surely. 10 points for that. Come on. I don't think there's enough here to make something more out of this. I do think there's something here if they took the kind of Rocket League model, or just a smaller project, released for about $15, $20, or you know the equivalent. And you know, because there's only 7 tracks here, you could make more tracks. You could do a lot more stuff in terms of the car and upgrades and that kind of stuff. So I guess there's something they could do with this, but I don't feel like there's a big fan base calling for the return of the Destruction Derby. I might be wrong. There might be parts of the internet. I don't know how I didn't get any points for that. I'll also show you what you can do as well. There's the pitting. The idea of this is you got the 6 points. You find the point that needs the most health, and you just hammer down on the X button as quickly as you can for the 4 or 5 seconds. Nice little feature. And it's very, very necessary. If you lose a wheel, which by that, the 6 points that you got there in your car, if one of the kind of back or side points goes black, that means you've lost a wheel. You're not getting that wheel back. You're then screwed, which is obviously quite tricky on a track where there are ramps and such. But the key thing is you want to keep the... Oh man, I'm doing terrible. The key thing is you want to keep the front as green as possible, because that is where your radiator is. And if your radiator blows... Whoa! If the radiator blows, then that's, you know, game over. A lot of this game really is about just being in the right place at the right time. And I like as well that, you know, as cars blow up, they just stay stranded on the side of the road and then become hazards. Yeah, it's got some little touches that I do appreciate. Let's go for a ride. Whee! I remember spending quite a large portion of my childhood trying to go over that ramp and do a full turn, a la Man with the Golden Gun. They were good times. So 70 points. It's a little bit better. So what I'll finish off with is I'll show you the Battle Bowl mode, which is just pure chaos. Okay, so you're going here, so you got Wrecking Racing, Stock Car, and just full-on Destruction Derby. I don't remember what Total Destruction is, so we'll have a look. There's a couple of different pits that do different things. They have different elements to them. We'll just stick to the Red Pike Arena. I think the death pit that has, you know, like a bottomless pit or just a pit that you fall in and then you're screwed. So the key thing with this, I find, with Red Pike Arena, is to just sit back to begin with. Oh no, Total Destruction is where they're all after you. I had totally forgotten about that. Whoops. So yeah, so Total Destruction is 19 cars after you. And the idea is just to survive for as long as possible. It's quite difficult to last for any kind of amount of time because they're all complete maniacs. There you go. 35 seconds. So we'll do practice and actually show you. I'd totally forgotten Total Destruction was that. It's a good mode. There's some maniac out there who's probably got the world record for, I don't even want to know how long. Alright, let's try that again. The loading times are a lot quicker than I remember. Again, I don't know if that's an emulating thing or just Destruction Derby 2 is a pretty good game in terms of its load times, because you know the original PlayStation is notorious for some long load times. Yeah, so just let them fly all over the place. One of the key things I find, and the AI will do this as well, spend more time driving in reverse, because obviously the thing that you need to save is your bonnet and your radiator. But obviously you need to kind of proportion exactly where the damage goes, because if you take too much damage to the back, you're going to lose your wheels. You lose your wheels, it's very hard to really kind of cause any significant damage. So I always find just kind of drive in a circle around the top part of the ring. Oh no, that's not good. That's not good. Okay, once the radiator is gone, well, to be fair, 265 points is a pretty good amount of points for that. But that was also a very quick round. Last night I managed to have a round go for a few minutes. I think I got about 305 points. Yeah, you can take one really unfortunate hit like that and you're screwed. Let's get involved in this mayhem at the start. See if it makes any difference. No, just pointless. 25 points. So about 200 points I feel is kind of the medium that you want to be aiming for with with Destruction Derby. Big fan of the commentator as well. I do find that sometimes you just rack up points and you're not entirely sure how, like from other people driving into you. The problem with driving in reverse is it's kind of difficult because you start turning in one direction and then, oh no, there goes a wheel, and the car just kind of violently flings around. Yeah, it becomes quite difficult to control. Now, I don't really feel like I'm doing a lot here, but I am racking up some serious points, and I've lost both of my left wheels, so doing anything from this point forwards is going to be pretty difficult. Obviously, the big challenge is trying to be the sole survivor of one of these events, and I think I've done it once in my lifetime, but ooh, it's not easy. So yeah, that's pretty much Destruction Derby 2 in a nutshell. I can't remember how it rated back in the day. I feel like it would have done pretty well, because like the game is pretty simple in its execution, but I feel what it does very well. And I feel the overall presentation is just, it's a good time. It is a good time. Thank you very much for watching. I hope this has been a kind of blast into the past for the PlayStation 1. Please keep watching. I'm going to kind of dabble around with different PS1 games, because there's a lot of games that I never played originally, or there's a lot of games I haven't played in a while, and I need to remember which ones they are. You know, just need them kind of triggered in my mind. And yeah, we'll hopefully go back and look at some more of the PS1 back catalogue. So thank you very much for watching here at Link to the Cast, and I'll see you again next time.